the ultimate Spanish Rizz master. Hello friends, I'm doing this video because you need my help. You really do. You probably don't realize how many mistakes you're making when you're trying to talk to a Latin American girl. So I'm here for you. Honestly, I focus more on teaching people how to learn Spanish. And this is the Latina Academy where I teach people languages. But honestly, one of the main reasons my friends are telling me that they want to learn Spanish is because they want to talk to girls. And to be honest with you, they really needed the help. So I put up a list of things that guys are doing so wrong, and I promise you that by the end of this video you're gonna know so much that your flirting game Rizz in Spanish is gonna go all the way to the next level. I hope you use this information to find the love of your life, your Latina that you've been looking for, and not for evil purposes. But anyway, here is all you need to know about how to have Rizz with girls that speak Spanish. So first things first, my name is Joanna. I'm Greek and Mexican. I come from two countries where we have the best guys at flirting. Honestly, we do. Like, have you seen a Mexican guy flirt? Have you seen a Greek guy flirt? They know what they're doing. And unfortunately, I had instances when I go to the US or the north of Europe, and it's actually very not the same. So this is why I'm here to help you. I also speak 6 languages, so I have a lot of context on what different cultures do. I'm gonna go right into this because this is going to make you fail on the rest if you don't fix this one first. When you talk to a girl that speaks Spanish, many times I've noticed that less with Northern Europeans, more with Americans, they think that Latinas are dying to date them. But you guys haven't realized that we have very good guys in our countries. They are really protective gentlemen. They know how to flirt. They are charming. They are good looking. Sometimes when an American guy approaches a Latina, and I've had this myself and I've noticed with other friends, they kind of assume that we are interested. And that's a big mistake. Like, they go with this attitude of like, oh, hi, yeah, I'm so cool, blah, blah, blah. I'm American. You probably want my passport. But, no, guys, we don't. Like, if you actually come to Mexico, there's many Mexican people, half of them women, who live here, and we actually like it. So we are not necessarily trying to go move to the US necessarily. So when you approach a girl, don't assume that just because you are American or European, they want to date you. You need to approach in a more humble way, but at the same time confident. If you're actually interested in a Latina, look at how the Latin American guys do it. They show interest. They smile at the girl. They look at her like instead of going like, yeah, they go like, oh yeah, that's awesome. You know, it's completely different approach, and obviously they get different results. Because if you want the attention of a Latina, pretending that you're not interested and looking like so whatever is not gonna work. So you have to realize that it's part of the culture to basically be nice. So if you don't have that first step, you don't have a chance. Some girls will like the bad boy thing and blah, blah, blah. But long term, if you want a serious girl that's gonna be like super awesome and also be like a strong Latina, support you in your dreams, have her own, like things like that, like you have to realize that being kind is very important. Do it like the Latin American guys, that they do show interest. They do tell you you're awesome. They are like very kind, very straightforward, look you in the eye, things like that. Confidence is important, hand in hand with kindness. So when a guy approaches a Latin American girl and he goes like, hey, or like, you know, unless you're Joy Tribbiani and you're going like, how you doing? No, it's not gonna work with you. Takes me to the second point. Hola Guapa. I hear this so often. This is how I came up with the idea that this video had to be made, because a friend told me, oh, I really want to learn Spanish to be able to speak with Latinas. And then he said, for example, imagine a guy comes in and he goes to the girl and says, Hola Guapa. And I'm like, wow, you need help. Because if a guy walked over to me and he said, Hola Guapa, I would say, goodbye Guapo. I'm not interested. This is so weird, especially in most of Latin American countries. If you go to Spain or Argentina, that may not be so cringe, but in the other places of Latin America, yes. Why? It's kind of too much. Like, you don't know them and they're coming to you to say Guapa. Guapa is not beautiful. Guapa is like a smaller level of hot. Okay, so hello hot, you know, hello hot girl, or like hot stuff or whatever. That's so weird. Like the first thing you say to say that is so strange. Obviously, if you're already dating, if you call her guapa, that's okay. I personally, it's not my favorite. But yeah, don't start the line with that. Instead, you can say simply, hola, mi nombre es John, ¿cómo te llamas? If you just say that with your English accent, hola, mi nombre es blah, 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 that's gonna look much better and that's gonna be a million times more interesting. So let's learn that, okay? So, hola, mi nombre es John, ¿cómo te llamas? So, hi, my name is John. What is your name? The literal translation is how are you called? So stop saying hola guapa and just learn hola, mi nombre es John. ¿Cómo te llamas? It's gonna work a million times more that you go tell her your name and then ask for her name. Instead of saying guapa, hermosa, that's too much too soon. If you wanna say that, something like you like her eyes or something like that, say bonita or say linda. Those are words that are so light for the beginning. This stereotype of Latinas being all like, whoa, yes, so ready, it's spicy and things like that, it only works with one guy. She's only gonna be like that with one guy. It's not gonna be with all the guys that approach her. Bonita is a better first step. Don't go all the way to hermosa, guapa, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just say, eres muy bonita. Eres muy linda. Simply put, keep it classy. It really goes a long way. Okay, now this one that I'm gonna give you, I hope you don't misuse it because it's actually really powerful. It makes a big difference. I've checked with my friends and we all agree that that is a big plus point. And it's literally a small change in the way you communicate, even if you don't speak Spanish yet. But if you start saying your thank yous, yeses, and okays in Spanish, that makes a huge difference. Like, it's actually really cute. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this because then everybody's gonna do it and it's gonna be ruined. But for the few guys that are gonna watch this video, like, it's actually a plus when a guy says like gracias. Instead of saying thank you, say gracias. Instead of saying okay, you can say bueno or like bueno. Is that good? You can also say está bien. I mean, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, oh, yeah, because it's really cute when a guy that doesn't speak Spanish doesn't say anything in Spanish during the whole conversation and then just does the acknowledgements in Spanish. Or like, instead of saying yes, they say sí. No, that's really cute. So that is a very smooth, simple tip that you can apply and it's going to be very, it's a game changer. Like it really has a very unique thing to it. If a girl tells you I don't like it, then don't do it. But I know that most girls, we really like it. And I've noticed like when there's certain guys that do it, we actually like we talk about like, oh, he's cute, you know, he's like, he has Rizz, you know, but don't overdo it. Let's say now you just start to learn Spanish and you know a few words, and I've had guys who literally are doing Duolingo 24/7 and they're like, oh yeah, pass me el cargador. That's weird. El cargador, you know, like, it's too much. Try to just use it for the acknowledgements, okay? Until you actually learn Spanish in full. So here are the words that you can say. Thank you, gracias, perfect, perfecto, exactly, exacto, yes, sí, okay, bueno, very good, muy bien. Good morning, buenos días. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. And good day, like if you're saying goodbye, you can say good day, buen día, adiós. Please, por favor. These very simple words really sound really cute when you say it in an American accent or an English accent and things like that. It shows that you're trying to learn. That's gold. Use it and you will see. In Latin American culture, we're very romantic. We really like small gestures that a guy is thoughtful and things like that. So if you can be a little bit more creative on your approach, obviously the hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi nombre es something, that's good. But you could also say something like, oh wow, I really like this song. Do you want to dance? Something like that is actually quite cool. I don't think there's many Latin American girls who would say no to dancing unless you're totally like creepy. And the thing is that we don't think you're gonna be creepy just because you approach us. The way you approach is what may make it creepy. Usually Latinos, they literally plan out a whole vacation and organize everything to meet. Like one friend, he's from Colombia and his girlfriend is from Mexico, and he planned a whole trip for both of them to meet in Dominican Republic. You do these magic gestures, that's really awesome. I know it may sound a little difficult, but that is kind of an example. Even in a smaller scale, you could do something like that where you really show you're interested and you go a little bit above and beyond. And once you are together, keep doing it. It's kind of fun. And if you actually want, I'm gonna say this, if you actually want like the super top Latin American girl that's such a good wife, or like girlfriend, you have to kind of be like what she would deserve, you know? If you want a girlfriend who's a bit like whatever, she doesn't care about how you're doing, she doesn't care about your goals and things like that, then maybe you don't have to do all these things. But if you want somebody that's like super committed to you and your goals and like really supports you in the way that Latin American girls are, then this is the tips that will work. Probably one of the most important ones. And I don't know why when in the US this is like completely disappearing a little bit, and sometimes in the north of Europe, but being a gentleman is still a big thing in Latin America, and I hope it's gonna continue to be. So even if you are not interested in a girl, you still have to be a gentleman. I'm gonna tell you a story, one that happened in Mexico and one that happened in the US. And in both cases, it was a guy who had a girlfriend. This person is somebody that I know from work, and we were walking in a parking lot that had like a step. And the first time I stepped on it, I was like, whoa, because there was like a big step. And I grabbed onto something and went down. And he said, oh, I'm so sorry. And the next time there was another step, he held my hand and he got me down in that way, you know? And it wasn't like he was flirting. This is not flirting in Latin America. Being kind and thoughtful of a man and a woman, it's not flirting. So in this case, even I would have done that for a guy probably. Now, almost similar scenario, but in a different way, was that I was walking to a parking lot and I was gonna go with a guy somewhere. I remember he opened the door of the passenger and I was like, wow, first guy who is a gentleman, because I had been there for a week in that city and nobody had opened a door for me. Like no guy had opened any doors for me, and I was like, this is so weird. I said, wow, finally a gentleman. And he's like, oh no, I'm just removing stuff from the seats. And I'm like, he didn't open the door. Like he actually just opened and said that. And I was like, that's so weird. And he's like, it's just that I have a girlfriend. And I'm like, so like that's so weird. Like he thought he was cheating on his girlfriend by opening the door for me, you know? And that is a cultural difference in English speaking countries sometimes, except South Africa, and in Northern European countries sometimes, that guys usually are only gentlemen to their girlfriend. And it's not like that in Latin America. Guys are usually gentlemen and kind to everybody. I personally, with a boyfriend, would be so happy that he is being a gentleman to other girls. Those basic gentleman things that maybe I should do another video about if you don't know them. And a plus point is that if you are being a gentleman, even if that girl has a boyfriend, she also has friends that are Latinas that may be interested in you or she could connect you with. What's gonna happen is that they're gonna start thinking of you for their friends, okay? So maybe I could say that the top advice for having Rizz in Latin America is being a gentleman. When you arrive to a place, you open the door of the car, you close the door also. If she's cold, you give her your jacket, or make sure she gets a jacket. Like, I know that can be annoying, but yeah, sometimes we don't take the jacket and then you have to give us your jacket. But that is gonna take you from the rest of the guys from America or the north of Europe to this American guy who actually has manners and is super nice and is very nice to girls and things like that. That's very good. It's gold. Another turn off for Latin American girls is when a guy treats people badly. And now this is not about her friends. This is not about her. It's about literally when you go out of a place or a restaurant or something, how do you address the valet parking? If you go like, where's my car? Or like things like that is rude, you know, it looks bad. So I don't know many girls who want to date a guy that is like that. Some girls have issues maybe and they like that. But most girls in Latin America would like a guy that's helpful, would like a guy that's kind, would like a guy that says thank you and please and things like that. Treat other people like you would like to be treated. Literally, it's gonna show so much. It looks so good. And I can think of instances where guys have been so kind and I'm like, wow, he's so awesome. You know, so that is very important. Now, this is not a rule, but it's gonna give you so much points. If you can learn how to dance, that's gonna be good. Like, I know a friend who is from Colombia. She just got married to an American guy and he literally took lessons for the wedding. Like, and he now dances so well. And that is like many points, you know, like a guy could not be so cute, but if he's a good dancer, that's really cool because dancing is something you can do anytime, you know. You could be in a deserted island, you could be in the line at the bank, and you could dance, you know. So that is so good. Like that, if you can take some Spanish lessons, you will definitely meet Spanish speaking girls, and you will also get so many points when you go dancing and you take her out to dance and things like that. For me, if a guy doesn't know how to dance, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to date him, you know. So that's a very important thing. And don't worry if you're not an expert dancer at the beginning. Like, literally, if you can say I'm new at this and that's cute. That's totally fine. So just like start practicing, start learning, and that's gonna be like, that's gonna give you points. I'm gonna make a point just on opening doors because I've mentioned it already, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit more. Especially in the north of Mexico and in Colombia, Venezuela, and like the northern middle part of Latin America. We are very used to guys opening the door everywhere. I literally can't stand like next to a door. Like I will approach a door and be standing and then wait if I'm walking with a guy. And it's very interesting when that doesn't happen. Like it is like a very simple thing that makes a big difference. But I've had situations where guys go like, they open the door like that. Remember to keep the Rizz. And part of the Rizz is having a smoothness. Okay, so just like, a little bit of, and I don't know if you understand, I'm just saying that. So if you go to a place and you start talking to a girl and flirt with her and blah, blah, and then you go to another girl and flirt with her and blah, 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 that's like, okay, whatever. Some guys really have so much Rizz, and even like Mexican guys, and you can tell that, wow, I'm so special, I feel so awesome with this guy, but then they go and do the same to a girl that's right there. So it's like, okay, not interested. If you're looking for somebody who wants one guy, you should also be just going for one girl, okay? So unless you want her to be like with everybody, like it depends on the kind of girl that you like. Another point is like, this is just my opinion, but it's not very wifey material or like super girlfriend material to have somebody who's just like sleeping around or going around with all the guys and things like that. So obviously, if you are being like that, then you're gonna get that. Maybe this won't work on the girls that are more easy to approach or that would sleep around, okay? But if you want something like that, then there's other videos for that. This one is to get a top-notch Latin American girl that's gonna be an awesome girlfriend or an awesome wife, and in the future maybe an awesome mother. When you are approaching a Latin American girl that you found that she's very special, she's not just posting pictures of herself half naked on social media and things like that, then realize that she's actually reserving herself for a guy, for a special person, and she's only gonna show certain things and certain aspects of her personality to that guy. And that's something that you can find in Latin American girls, that they are away with all the guy friends, and then with the boyfriend it's more, it's more of herself, more of her personality, more, because that's a special guy, and this is what I realized that makes the marriages and the couples in Latin America stronger than in other countries because those are like very, no, we're not the best, but definitely stronger couples, and I've noticed. So once you meet a Latin American girl that you like, do show her aspects of yourself that you wouldn't normally show to other people, because those special things about you are gonna make her really like you because you are showing more than with the rest of the people. This is probably applies to many cultures, but especially in Latin America, do plan things. Like, don't just ask us like, what do we do? If you want to do something, we actually don't probably mind like whatever it is you want to do, and we will give you some things that we like and things like that. But a very nice plan like thing for the girl that surprises her and she doesn't know what's gonna happen, and wow, now we're doing this and now we're doing that, and that's pretty cool. It's part of being fun, and just plan the things yourself. It's really awesome. There's a difference in the way you approach a girl depending on what type of girl you want to have. So you can have the naco, which is a word that means tacky, like kind of like talking like, hey, you're so hot, things like that. That's kind of like, no, a good girl completely runs away from that. And another approach is an alpha male, like this typical macho guy who is like, oh, like I'm so manly and blah blah blah. That's not really what a girl in Latin America wants necessarily, because these type of guys are the type of guys who usually they just want to be right and their opinion is the only one. And you should realize that Latin American girls do have a lot of opinions themselves. Maybe it's also because I'm Greek, I don't know, so maybe I'm wrong, on that one. But maybe some Latinas do like the alpha guy, but I don't see it so often that like this huge, extremely bold guy gets all the girls. Like, it's usually like the guys who are fit and are well and are kind. So there is a very important difference in language that you can make a huge mistake saying this wrong. In English, you have the verb to be. Spanish has the verb to be with all its definitions split into two. And ser has certain definitions from the verb to be, and estar has certain definitions from the verb to be, but both of them translate to I am, you are, he, she is, etc. So also, it's important that you remember that in Spanish, we always change the verb depending on who's speaking. So in English, you have I am, you are, she is, but you also have I sing, you sing, she sings, they sing. So you only change it when you say she, he sings and you put the S, right? So in Spanish, no, we actually change all the different words. So this is important because when you're flirting with a girl, I would strongly suggest that you go for tú eres buena, which means you are good, as opposed to tú estás buena. Those are things that are said in music, like reggaeton music, okay? So that's like the level of flirting that you would be going if you say that estás buena. You know, you wouldn't say that to approach a Latin American girl and necessarily say it at all. Maybe when you're already dating, like once you're already together, and then there's some of these rules like don't apply because that's your girl. And just so you know, like when you say estás buena, it's not exactly you are hot. It's more like saying you're tasty, you're delicious, you know? And you wouldn't say that to a person you just met or you're trying to get their trust. So no, don't say that. And I think those are enough tips for today. I really hope you learned something and that you can use this to improve your Rizz. And please comment if you liked it, and I want to know what else you want to know. And just so you know, it is worth it. If you do all of this, it is worth it to have a Latin American girlfriend. I know my friends are Latin American who have boyfriends. They are so lucky. They are good girls, like they are fun girls, and they are beautiful girls. Obviously, the most important tip that's really gonna help you is to learn Spanish. So watch the rest of the videos where I'm gonna give you lessons in Spanish. That's the real point of Athena Academy, but I know that you wanna know these things. So if there's other topics you want me to teach you or part of the culture or anything, please tell me and I'll be happy to do a video on those things too. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.